Jackfruit. Actually, that does.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
This is Dani.
And this is Dev, and obviously you're watching Dani Dev TV, and you're probably wondering what this thing is right here. This is called jackfruit, and in this video we're going to show you how to prepare it.
So let's get started.
Alright, so we're going to get straight to it. Because I've worked with jackfruit before, there's a few things that I recommend that you have in order to be able to make sure you are at least taken care of. I know the jackfruit is very, very sticky, so I have gloves, a little bit of oil. It could be vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever. I'll pass it really quick. A large chef knife and a cutting board. The reason that I use this little large pan here is because jackfruit are really, really big. This is actually a small one, but in order to be able to cut it up into little small pieces, you want to make sure you have something to be able to cut it into so you're not messing up your your countertop surface.
There are little pricks.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely actually damage some things. So first thing I want to do is go ahead and just cut this in half because I'm only going to be using about half for dinner tonight. So just go ahead and cut it in half. We're going to show a close-up of the inside. Now, kind of like once I get this cut in half.
And he can cut this with way better ease than I can.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not hard to work with, but it can be a little bit difficult.
Especially if your knife is dull. So.
That's true too. So I'm gonna set this to the side, and actually I'm gonna kind of zoom in if you guys can see that. There's two components, or actually three components to a jackfruit. You have the seeds, which are right there, and I'm gonna do a close-up as well. You got the seeds, you got the pods, which are edible, and then you have the flesh. And then
the pods are very good. It's like candy. It's like, I don't know, it's like a candy taste.
Yeah, we actually use those for
just to eat.
Well, that too. But we actually use them for smoothies and stuff like that too because they're really, really, really good. But you can just eat them just plain as well. And then we're gonna do a little zoom in. I'll add a clip in right there. And guys, so I'm gonna give you a close up of this. And as you can see, I already got my gloves on. I just put a little bit of vegetable oil on there. Black gloves, rubbed it around just so you make sure it's not sticky. And for anybody who's going to prepare it without using the gloves, I guess you'll just learn the hard way and you'll see why I actually use gloves and why it's important. So I'm going to cut this in half because I want you guys to get a close-up of the inside of the jackfruit. All right, there you go. Kind of zoom in a little bit so we can see. So these are the three components that I was talking about. So you have the seeds here, this yellow part. This is the actual pod. And everything else that's around it, up in here, and actually I got a few pieces over here where you can actually see it a little bit better. As you can see right in here, this is what's called the flesh. And this is the part that people use to make different types of, I guess, meatless type of recipes. Today's recipe that we're going to do is a jackfruit chicken patty. And that's what we're going to be using to make our actual chicken. And you'll see what that's about.
Okay, guys, so we're about to start taking out the pods. So you just pop the seed out, and then this is a little bit, as far as the pod go, it's a little bit tough, but you just dig in there and you take it out like that.
Use a little bit of that elbow grease and get it on up out of there. It's definitely more time consuming than just buying jackfruit in a can, obviously, but this way you know what you're getting instead of
more in the deep in there. So you gotta cut it in.
Those seeds are huge.
The same thing.
Boom. Let me get a little piece of that. That looks good. And it's actually very, very, very good. And actually good for you.
These are the pods. These are what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But we just eat them or make smoothies with them.
Yep. And you can eat it literally right out of the... Got a little piece. You can eat it literally right out of...
And also, I guess
you guys.
See, as he was saying, you can see the flesh a little bit better.
Yeah.
With this one.
And that's what we're going to use to actually make the jackfruit chicken patty. But as you can see, those are the pods. Those are the seeds. You just want to separate the pods and the seeds from the rest of the actual jackfruit itself. And then we'll get to that part about when we start pulling the flesh away from the actual the rest of the remainder of the jackfruit.
So we're going to finish doing this and we'll be right back.
All right. All right, guys. So now we've removed all the seeds, we removed all the pods, and now we're gonna get to the flesh. So for me, I just like to make it easy on myself and just try to, like I said, be careful. If you zoom in a little bit, Danielle, I like to go right above the skin, which is this part right here, so that I can remove the flesh. And it's almost like filleting a fish, the skin off of a fish. And I just drag it right across the bottom. Right across there, boom. And this will become meat, basically. So this whole little part, you can actually just take this off and you can make it into nuggets. You can take this little part, but we're gonna actually put this in a food processor, and then we're going to kind of almost form it into a patty so that we can be able to use this for our jackfruit chicken patties. All right, guys, so we've already put the rest of the, or not the rest of it, but just a little bit so we can give you guys I guess a little overview of how we going to do our actual jackfruit patties. But this has been through the actual processor. So this white part here, this is actually all of this and anything that's surrounding it. So then you'll go here, this part right here and everything that's around it, that's what this is right here. So right now I have a little bit of sea moss gel in here, which is a binder that we're going to use. And then as far as seasonings, well, first off, I'm going to put a little bit of the white cornmeal. This is going to be our breading, and I like to mix everything together, and then I'll retoss it. A little bit of white flour. And then as far as seasoning, you guys can use whatever type of seasoning you want, but we use the Badia tropical seasoning because we like tropical flavors in this house. Mix that in really, really good. You want it to have some kind of texture to it, so it can be a little sticky. That just helps it fry up better and stay together, a little whole. I like to let the flavors marinate for at least a few minutes before you throw it in the fryer. Now, if you don't want to fry it, you also have the option of being able to just bread these with like some panko breadcrumbs and then throw them in the oven and bake for about maybe 15 minutes, turning about 8 minutes into it or halfway through. So now that you got this mixed in really, really nice, we're going to go ahead and bread it, and then we're going to fry them up. All right, guys, as you can see, we kind of formed these into patties. And as you can, if you zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see how the texture of this starts to look like chicken, or this looks like ground chicken. Or if you actually flavor it a certain type of way, you can actually make these into burgers as well. So it's very diverse. That's why we like jackfruit, because you can kind of make it into whatever you want. And then I guess in the next segment, you're going to see us fry these up, and then we're going to see what they look like and what they taste like. Alright, guys, so just like if you were frying up any other type of chicken or anything like that, you're going to make sure you bread it before, and then go ahead and pop it into the grease. You're going to cook these on each side for about maybe, I think we used to do it in like 4.5 minutes on each side.
Something like that.
Yeah, so about 4.5 minutes on each side. You can time it, or you can kind of guesstimate, but Danielle, she's really good with it, so she's going to put the timer on there at 4 minutes. Boom. And then we're going to come back. We're going to flip it, and then we're going to taste it. Alright, guys. So pretty much we have finished it up, and I'm actually going to bring this up a little bit closer for you guys. This is the finished product. I like mine's a little bit darker, so I told Danielle to let mine go a little bit longer. And you can see this is basically like a chicken patty. And oh, I forgot. I was going to go bring in the a better close-up of the actual pods themselves, so you can see the pods. So again, you have the pods, you have the little jackfruit seeds, and then you obviously have the flesh, which is what we actually turned into chicken patties. And then I guess all we have left to do is just see what it tastes like. Grab a fork. There you go.
This one.
Oh. See what these taste like. Oh man, these look great. I'm actually gonna zoom in really quick, guys, so you can kind of see that texture. So basically, this almost mimics, if you can break that open, almost mimics as if, you can see the steam coming out of that too, as if it was chicken. Let's see. Oh, that is delicious. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish you guys were here to actually eat this and taste this, but this is really fucking awesome. Yeah. But oh yeah, I almost forgot. Like, comment, subscribe. But that's it. All right, peace.
Peace.